To graph this equation here, let's set up a table. So we'll set up our table with an x and a y. Now, let's choose x to be 0. If you put 0 back in here, we're going to get 0 plus 2 is 2. 2 squared is 4. So I'll write it here. We'll get 0 plus 2 squared is 2 squared, which is 4. So we're going to go 0, no left, no right movement, but up 4. So down on our coordinate system, no left or right, but we're going to go up 4. All right, let's put a point there at 0 and 4. Now let's go to the left one and to the right one and see what happens. If we put -1, right, I'm going to put -1 right in here. Then I'll put 1 in there. So we're going to get what? -1 plus 2 squared is 1 squared, which is 1. And if we put in 1, we'll get 1 plus 2 squared is 3 squared, so we end up with a 9. So at this -1, we're going to go to from the origin, we're going to go to the left one, up 1. So from the origin to the left one, up 1, that's going to put us here. And then over here, we're going to go to the right, from the origin, we'll go to the right one, up 9. All right, so from the origin, we'll go from the origin, right one, up to 9. Let's put that point in. To the right one, up 9. We're way up there. Now let's go 2 out. So I'll go 2 to the left, 2 to the right. Now put in that -2, right? So I'm going to put that -2 right in here. See what we get? We'll get -2 plus 2 squared. 0 squared is 0. So we're going to go, what, from the origin to the left 2, no up or down, no vertical. Actually, let's do that while we're here. To the left 2, no vertical. So from the origin, we'll go to the left 2 and no vertical at all, so we'll put a point there. And then if we go to the right 2, this one here, put the 2 in, we'll get 2 plus 2 squared is 4 squared, which is 16. And that's not even going to show up on our graph, right? Because if we go to the right 2 from the origin, go to the right 2, we'd go up 16. So here's the origin. If you go to the right 2, we're way up here someplace. So we won't plot that one. But we can see what happens if we move more this direction here. So let's go out to -3. So go out to -3. Now at -3 plus 2 squared, we get -1 squared, which is 1. So from the origin, we're going to go to the left 3, up 1. So from the origin, we're going to go to the left 3, up 1, right there. Let's go out a little bit more. Let's go out to 4 to the left. So if you put in -4, you get -4 plus 2 squared is -2 squared, which is 4. So from the origin, we're going to go to the left 4, up 4. So from the origin to the left 4, up 4. So let's put a point there. Oh, now maybe you can see this here. Like when we did the other parabolas, we got that symmetry, right around the vertex. So here's the vertex. So what do you think this point here is going to be? If I go out 5, where are we going to be? Well, I'm thinking it's going to be right up here. So I'm going to put a point right there. You can verify that, right? If you put in -5, you get what? -5 plus 2 squared is -3 squared, which is 9. So let's pass a curve through these points. Draw it as smoothly as you can, and we get a smooth turnaround point there. There we go. Now remember, this point down here, that's the vertex. And that vertex is a smooth turnaround point, right? It's smooth. It's not like this. It doesn't come down to a V like that. Now, I want to make a comparison here. If we had drawn this graph right here, forget the +2. What if we just did this one? Y equals x squared. Okay, so I'm going to plot that in here. I'll plot it in here in this color. So I start at the origin. You may remember this curve. Now, if you go to the left one and right one, you square it. So the left one, square it, you go -1 squared is 1. To the right one, squared is 1. If you go to the left 2, you're at negative 2. Negative 2 squared is 4. Go to the right 2. 2 squared is 4. Go to the left 3. You're at negative 3. Squared is 9. Go to the right 3. 3 squared is 9. So now you're looking at this curve here, right? That's like the basic parabola. That's the basic parabola right there, y equals x squared. And this one over here is quantity x plus 2 squared. Now, if you base everything off this basic parabola right here, here's the basic one. Do you see what happens if you put in a plus 2 in the parentheses? If it's plus 2, this basic parabola, the purple one, shifted 2 places to the left. Now, you might be thinking because it's plus, it goes to the right, but the plus makes it go to the left. And you can see that happening from all of our computations. So what you want to keep in mind is, here's the basic parabola. Start at the origin, go out 1, square it, up 1. Go out 2, square it, go up 4. Start at the origin, the vertex, go out 3 to the right or to the left, square that 3, you go up 9. So there's the basic parabola. And then if you just add something to it, like here's the basic one, just put a plus 2 inside there, it moves, it shifts the parabola to the left 2 units. So let's graph another one, a similar one. And what do you think is going to happen if we did this one? Quantity x minus 2 squared. Think about that for a minute. And what we did relative to these, right? Here's the basic one, just the x squared. If we put a plus 2 in there, it took this basic parabola, shifted it 2 units to the left. Took that vertex, everything went 2 units to the left. So what do you think is going to happen if we put in a minus 2 now? What do you think it's going to do to this purple one here, that basic one? Well, if you're guessing it's going to move 2 units to the right, you're right. And you can see that if you just write a table with a few values just to see what happens. What if you put in 0 for x? Now let's just do this. Put in 0, what do you get? 0 minus 2 is negative 2. Negative 2 squared is 4. So let's just write the 4. Put in, go to the left one to the right one. If you put in negative 1, right, put in negative 1 here. Negative 1 minus 2 is negative 3. Negative 3 squared is 9. And if you put in 1, you're at 1 minus 2 is negative 1. Negative 1 squared is 1. Let's plot these points. So first up, I'm going to plot 0, 4. All right, so 0, 4. Well, we've already got a point there, but that's okay. Let's put another one. 0, 4. And then we'll plot this one to the left one, up 9. All right, so to the left one, all the way up 9. And then we'll plot this one to the right one, we're at 1. All right, so to the right one, from the origin, to the right one, we're at 1, right on top of that point. Let's try one more point and see what happens. I'm not going to go out to negative 2, because if I put negative 2 in here, I'm going to be way up here off the graph. So let's just try positive 2. So put in a positive 2. Now, if you put positive 2 in here, 2 minus 2, that's 0. 0 squared is 0. So look where we are. Okay, you think you've got enough points to see what's going to happen here? This curve is going to come down, hit the vertex, and then go right back up the same way. So what I'm going to do is this. I know what the pattern is. Here's the vertex. I go to the left one, up 1. So to the right one, up 1. I'll get this point. Then I go to the left 2, up 4. So I'm going to go to the right 2, up 4. Then I went to, from the origin, from the vertex, I went to the left 3, up 9. So I'm going to go to the right 3, up 9. That'll put me right here. So let's connect these points with a smooth curve. Okay, there we go. So can you imagine where this one here would go? Let's see, what if I wrote this? Y equals x plus 5 squared. where do you think that would go? Well, I got a plus in here, and it's that squared, so it's that basic parabola. Here's our basic parabola, the purple one. So because I have a plus 5, now the plus makes you think that is positive direction, but it goes in the opposite direction. So it's going to take this basic parabola, move it 5 to the left, and we would have that basic parabola there. Where would this one go? What if you put y equals x minus 8 squared? What do you think that would do? Yeah, that's going to take this basic parabola, the purple one, and move it, because of the minus sign, 8 places to the right. So that basic parabola would now be over here.